Well, hello and welcome to Dimka's Woodworks. My name is Dima. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I make my worthless wood call blanks cast in Alumilite resin. So if you're familiar with casting worthless wood in resin, pretty much what you do is you grab wood that is, otherwise worthless, that's like a live edge that you really can't use for something else, and you cast it in resin. So you pretty much fill the voids and make a complete blank out of it. These are very expensive to buy and very expensive to make. So if you're just getting into it, I would suggest trying with something more simpler like PR resin until you get the hang of it. So things you're going to need, you're obviously going to need a mold. This is an 1.7" by 5 inches long. That's roughly a average size call, and the piece pretty much fits inside there like this, and I have a screw here that I tighten down that holds the piece in place so it doesn't float when I fill it with resin. So here I've got 2 blanks in the molds, and we're ready to start mixing the resin and just pouring it in. So here I have my 2 molds with my worthless wood already sitting in there, tightened down, ready to go. I've got 2 clear cups so I could see the Alumilite resin mixing. I've got part A and part B of clear Alumilite here. And I've got 2 PerlX powders. One is turquoise and the other one is super russet. So I'm going to mix these separate, and one will be turquoise, one will be super russet. Might want to wear gloves for the process, because once that Alumilite gets all over your hands get really sticky and everything gets stuck to them. So I estimated about 6 ounces of resin will fill these. That's because I have wood in there, so if you wanted to make the whole Alumilite call just out of Alumilite, they have a website that has their formulas of how to mix it. So for this I'm going to do 6 ounces. So 3 ounces of A and 3 ounces of B. Go 3 ounces. There go 3 ounces of A. So this Alumilite clear resin has a 7-minute working time, which means you have 7 minutes till it starts to set. Usually if you reach that 7 minutes, you're probably too late, so anywhere around 5 minutes. Anything over that, you're pretty much pushing it. So I usually try to mix it a lot quicker than that. So I'm going to go ahead and mix part B. Alright, so here we go. We got 6 ounces in each cup. I'm going to go ahead and mix them thoroughly, making sure that I don't see any white streaks. So pretty much when it turns clear, that's when you know that it's thoroughly mixed. Alright, that's the first one. What you could do is you could mix these colors separately and actually swirl them together. But that would be another video. Alright, that looks pretty well mixed. So I'm going to go ahead and mix the powders in there. It looks like this turquoise doesn't have any pearl in it, so I'm going to add some pearl in it to add that color. So here I got some Alumilite dust pearl. I'm going to add some of that in there to add some color. And then go ahead and mix it thoroughly. Scraping the walls as you're mixing it will help get all of that mixed in. So now that you've got it mixed, you can go ahead and start pouring the Alumilite into your blanks. I usually start from one corner so that way bubbles have time to escape. Go. The other thing you could do is you could take a toothpick and kind of swirl it around so that pearl kind of gets, gets a little bit swirled up in there. Now that you got them poured, you can put them in a pressure pot. So here I got my pressure pot. I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. Put on the lid. Make sure all the clamps are very well tight because you don't want this thing coming loose on you. Go ahead and plug in your compressor. And slow. I usually go somewhere around 60 pounds. Anything more than that is really useless. So there we go, we're at 60 pounds. So now that we got it in the pressure pot, sitting under 60 pounds of pressure, I'm going to go ahead and leave it in there for a couple hours. Alumilite recommends you leave it in there for at least 2 hours before you demold. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And once they're done, I'm going to turn the camera back on and pull them out. Okay, so the cowl blanks have been in the pot for at least 24 hours, so I think that's plenty of time for them to set. So we're going to go ahead and get them out and take a look at them. Alright, so here we go, the two call blanks that we casted. As you can see, you can't really see the wood in there yet. So you got to take it looking from this to this. And for that we're going to use the table saw to trim off the ends. I made the blanks a little bit oversized, that way I do have a way to trim off the ends and expose the wood. So we're going to go ahead and take it to the table saw and trim them off. So when you're trimming these down to 1.5 inch square, you really don't have to take up a lot to get it down to exactly 1.5 inch. What I usually do is I just keep trimming it until the wood starts showing up, and that's when I stop. Anything over 1.5 inch is good. Anything under 1.5 inch is kind of pushing it. I think call blank call turners, I like to have it close to 1.5 inch. So let's go ahead and trim these and see what they look like. So here I'm just going to adjust the fence to be just slightly over 1.5 inch. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll even put the piece there just so I can slice off little by little. So as you can see here, I've already started exposing the wood to show you the wood grain and the resin mixture. And you really don't have to trim it down anymore. What you want to do is you want to do that on all 4 sides, so that way if you're selling them, the person buying them can see where the resin goes and what the color of the resin is, and it'll give them a rough idea of what the call will look like. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off the other sides, keeping it square. So here we go, we got a finished call blank. As you can see, you've got plenty of resin coverage, you got plenty of wood. So the call turner will have to decide how to drill it, how to cut it, how to turn it on the lathe to make the best out of it. You can also trim off the ends to make it a little bit neater. So now that you got both of your call blanks all trimmed up, 1.5 inch square, 5 inches long, the next thing you want to do is make a call out of it. Now, if you're like me and you're not a call maker, you usually sell these. So what you want to do is you want to somehow show the grain off, and what I do is I spray polyurethane, can spray that not only brings out the wood grain, but that also brings out the color of the resin. So I'm going to show you what I do, how I do that. So here you can see both of the blanks, and this is pretty much what they look like before you put any type of finish on them to show off the grain and the color of the resin. So right now I'm just going to take semi-gloss polyurethane fast drying stuff. I'm going to spray it, and hopefully the video will show the difference between sprayed and not sprayed. There you go. I think pretty sure right now you can see that the blue right here is a little bit more darker, and it actually shows a true color of that blue pearl that's in there. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy watching how I make the call blanks. If you haven't tried making them yourself, I suggest you do so. So get some PR resin or Alumilite and make your own blanks. If you got any questions, comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so. Well, see you next time.